how will you access a Hadoop file system command from this command prompt? Hadoop fs minus ls, right? It will show you all the files that are there, correct? Assume that I am on Hive. And you know that when you are on Hive, the Hive prompt will be coming up. You can type any command here, show tables. So remember that we created a table called my schools. If you write select star from my schools, will a MapReduce program be executed? No. Why? It is a fetch. There is no need of aggregation needed. But if suppose, suppose you are typing Control L for clearing the screen. If you type, let us say, select count of star, I'm not executing it. It will execute a MapReduce. Why? This is an aggregation. Aggregation means you have to fetch the data and you have to run the reducer to sum it up. Remember the word count. Where did we calculate the sum? In the reducer, right? This one will invoke MapReduce. So two types of queries. My question is not that. Can you now show me the Hadoop file system from here? It is not the command prompt. It is the Hive prompt. See the difference? What will happen if I write Hadoop fs minus ls just like earlier? And if I put a semicolon? Error. You can't do that. So normally what the people will do, the people will come out of Hive or open another terminal and then work. But there is a beautiful way in Hive itself you can do that. The method is this. dfs ls So dfs minus ls instead of Hadoop fs minus ls. Any Hadoop command you want to execute, no need to go out of the Hive prompt. There itself you can type it, provided instead of Hadoop fs, please replace that Hadoop space fs with dfs.
Because it's local for the Hadoop.
What?
The Hive is local, it's running in the local of Hadoop.
I did not get your question.
Not
Hive is on the top of Hadoop. Whether Hive is running local or not, I am running it from the Hive prompt, just another alternate method. That's all. Okay? Now, I want to know which directory I am. What is the Unix command for understanding which directory you are? pwd. What, can I type a Unix command here? Not possible because it's Hive prompt, correct? Control L. But please look at this. Exclamation pwd semicolon. You can write any Unix command by putting an exclamatory symbol and then that Unix command whatever you want and put a semicolon. This is also possible on Hive prompt. So how will I clear the screen? What is the Unix command for clear? I always type clear, right? So what I'm going to do? Exclamation clear semicolon. Or you press Control L. Control L is more commonly used. You can even press exclamatory, the symbol and all. Next problem. Okay. What did I type to start this Hive? I just typed Hive, correct? When I typed Hive, it started this particular shell and it allowed me to run the command. Can you tell me which Hadoop file system this Hive is connecting to? Hive is on the top of Hadoop, right? Yes? So where is the Hadoop file system? In this virtual machine, correct? Listen carefully. So you have a virtual machine. Claudia's computer has got a virtual machine, Cloudera virtual machine. And when you are typing Hive, that Hive is connecting to this virtual machine's HDFS. Am I right? This is Suresh's machine. And there is a VM in which HDFS is there and the my school table is there. I want to start Hive and connect here. If I cannot do that, then what is the use? How will I work in the enterprise? Right? Unfortunately, you can't do that with the Hive command. Hive supports only the machine in which it is installed. Then what is the use of all these things? Why should we study? Ever try going to your company and then type the word Hive? What is the error you are going to get? It's not supported. And what is that you should be using? You must use Hive when you work on your virtual machine, when you work on the local, or if the administrator is giving you access to the machine in which HDFS is installed. Yes, you can go there and type Hive because it is local, correct? But from your laptop, you want to connect to that enterprise machine, you want to browse the tables and all. What you should use? Here you enter your time. Beeline is the tool. So whenever you are getting an error, Hive not supported, later Hive will be deprecated, use Beeline instead. Understood why? The disadvantage of Hive is it can be local. Now can you tell me if the Hive is completely removed, can I use Beeline to connect to my local? Yes, because use local host. So it supports local host as well as it supports remote host. Only you need the IP. So I'm going to show you, and these things are all for your understanding purposes. Okay. See, I don't by heart the commands at all. So what I will do, I will go to the browser and I am going to type Beeline command to start. Enter. Okay. Hive server 2 clients. Query on Hive commands Beeline. Let us just look at that particular link. And I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so that you can see it. Okay, and then just to see how they are connecting the Beeline. Look at that. Beeline minus U JDBC colon Hive 2 minus N minus Hive. All these are the way in which you are going to do it. Otherwise, there is a connect option also. I think you should be familiar with the connect option. That is the best way of doing it. Let me find out that command. Connect is the, okay, Beeline commands. Beeline command, Beeline commands, Beeline example. Beautiful, that's what you want. Beeline example, and I'm going to make it big. Look at that. First type Beeline. Don't need to write bin slash. Can you tell me why? Whenever in any of the windows and all, when you see bin slash, you will not type bin slash. Why? Bin is already added into your path. So don't give again bin. Okay. So I am going to take that and then I am going to type Beeline and I want the IP of, let's say, Sheetal. Tell me what is your IP of your virtual machine. Did you start your virtual machine? Okay. So give me your IP. So I am going to type Beeline and I am going to connect to her machine. Okay. So let me copy this particular URL for the time being. Oh, sorry. Right click. Copy. And how should we start? We should start Beeline. So I am going to come out of Hive. Okay. Clear the screen. Remember, I am on the command line. Okay. Don't type Beeline from the Hive prompt again. So I am going to type B tab. See? Automatically. And press enter. See, no errors or no messages. Earlier when you typed Hive, did you get the message telling that use Beeline instead? You will get it. I am going to come out, Control D, clear. and then type Hive and then press enter. Read that. Why you, Suresh, you are telling you didn't get the error. Read the second line. Hive CLI is deprecated and migration to Beeline is recommended. You observe. Okay, so I'm coming out now. So it is not a good practice to use Hive unless you are sure of you are working on local. Okay, now clear. And I am going to type Beeline and then press enter. You won't get any deprecation message because this is the future. This is what you should use. And now I am going to type that command that I copied. Okay, and I am going to right click. Paste. But I don't need this Scott Tiger, and I need the IP of Sheetal. So I am connecting from this machine, Claudio's machine, to Sheetal's machine. Before I am connecting, I will tell you what to do. Okay, tell me the IP. 10.1.10.38. Okay. If there is a username and password is asked, you can give Cloudera and Cloudera as well. Okay, or Hive Cloudera, anything. Let us avoid password and let's try what it is coming in. Okay, from where the 10,000 is coming in. Do you remember the JDBC program that we have written? I told you many times, and to make sure that that is accessible, what you should start on your command line. Hive server 2. Remember, again, repetition. Without Hive server 2, always what will be the error? Connection not found. So please type in Hive server 2 to the machine where I am connecting to. Type Hive server 2 space start. Hive server 2 is a single word. When you type Hive S tab, it will automatically fill. Open a command prompt and type Hive server 2 space start. Right. Hive server 2 start. Yeah, leave it. That is starting. Okay. Sometimes you get a command prompt, otherwise it's fine. Now I am going to type and see what is happening. Enter the username. Okay, let me give Cloudera. Enter the password. Cloudera. Look at that. I connected to Sheetal's machine now. And now I am going to type there the command show tables. She has got my school test sample, correct? This is what you are going to do in your whole big data life. Beeline and then connecting. The machine in which Beeline is installed is not your laptop in your companies. Can you tell me what is that called? No, you cannot run Beeline in the install. It's not allowed, right? You are not an admin to install whatever you want. Okay? So please look clearly, and if you want, you just write it down or draw it, whatever you want. Okay? Assume that these are the machines in which your Hadoop is installed. There will be so many machines, right? And I gave you the names earlier. It will be HDP development 1 machine. This is HDP development 2, HDP development 3, HDP development 4. These are the machines where actual HDFS, Hive, everything, Spark, everything is installed. This is you sitting on your table. You can't connect here. They won't give you the access. Instead, they are going to give you some 2-3 machines in the same network. And these machines are called edge servers or edge machines. You will get the access to the edge machine using PuTTY. And once you are inside this machine, you will type Beeline. When you want to write a Spark program, you will go PuTTY and write your Spark program here. These are the machines that are meant to communicate to the actual cluster. Whether it is Hortonworks, Cloudera, this is how entire enterprise is being using. Never think that you will be able to write a beeline on your command prompt unless you have a virtual machine like this. That is personal computer. After studying, you will go here. So if this machine name, the admin is telling that this is development 105 machine or 1005 machine, you will raise a ticket to get access to that D1005 using your marketplace application. And once you get it, you should also have access to Hive. Remember, it asked you the username and password, and then you will type everything. Is that clear? This will not be repeated again. This is for you to help out. Okay? Maybe take the way in which it is. This is where the access is there. You should have access to edge as well as servers. This can be Cloudera machines or Hortonworks machine or Pivotal, any Hadoop distribution, whatever you like. And this is you, your laptop. So, putty, once you are inside, type. Is that clear? This is also known as client nodes. Is it not? These are the servers.
Sometimes you can access by you also, right? The Hadoop user environment.
Yeah, that is directly giving you one of the edge servers which is connecting to it. But that is not a good practice.
I mean, that's what access I have right now. I have to be at.
Yeah, you have to get the command line access, okay? Because ask them that I want to practice all these commands, I want to create a table, I want to do this. Yes, everything can be done in Hue, but you want to practice in a normal way. If you practice on high Hue, you won't study anything. You will not write any command. Everything is hidden, right? I suggest not to use Hue until you go to very exceptional level of,
I mean, I think that's what they use as a default access initially.
If you have a Hue access, you should have a putty access also.
Okay.
Automatic. Okay? If I want to write a MapReduce program and if I want to execute it, in Hue I cannot submit a MapReduce program, correct?
Right.
How will you write a word count program? You will log in here, you will write your word count here. It will go to this particular yarn cluster, execute it and give you the output. Exactly, consider this as your virtual machine, this you are accessing from a client machine, and that client machine is accessed from your laptop. 3 levels. Otherwise it is not secure, correct? If everybody is accessing the data, they will give you now the access to HDFS file system based upon your business unit. That is how security is. So if you are belonging to, let's say, credit cards, this file system, you will be giving access to only the credit cards, otherwise retail banking. You got it? Now the idea is very clear. That is how the enterprise is being deployed. Okay? Now, I don't see any other tables in you. That means you didn't try any other tables. I gave you a whole list of Laman 51 CSV files and I told you to try those things, but you didn't try. Okay, but at least try this weekend, this week on these things. Now, next important point.
So,
Yeah.
before going into, so Beeline, from Beeline we can access the Hive also, right? Hive tables also.
Correct, yes.
The-
Where is the beeline running?
It's on the Edge server.
Yeah, that's what I told you, no? So far. Beeline is running here. So you go log in as putty and then you type beeline. Correct?
Yeah.
You can't do it from here.
Yeah.
You try. Get the company laptop and type beeline. What will come? Command not found. Right? It is installed there. You have to first get in there. That's called edge locations. Okay? Take a picture if you want. Okay?
Is this typical of like
Everywhere. Okay? Whatever I have seen, this is the architecture. Okay? What I'll do, I'll send to you. So, What is your group? We have not talked for a while. Okay. I think you may need to add notes. Otherwise, you will again forget. After 2 months, look at the picture. Okay? Then you will know. All right. Where was that file? Schools.csv. Where did we keep it? Which directory? CD MongoDB or Lamn 61 files? Where is it?
Lamb
Where inside? Inside MongoDB?
Passion bits.
Oh. CD Passion Bytes and inside ls. Yes, you have. Please look at my screen. You have the Lamn 59.csv available, right? Let's again take a very simple example. I am going to go to that directory cd Lamn csv. Okay? ls. Can you tell me a small file vi salaries.csv? How is it? Okay. 4 fields are there. Year ID, which is an integer, team ID, log ID, player ID, and salary. Okay. Team ID, log ID, and player ID are again strings, and salary is float or double. Okay. Float means decimal point. Let's write it down. Year ID, team ID, log ID, sorry, LG ID, player ID, salary. And this is float, this is integer, right? And I am going to trim the header. Okay, so what I am going to do, vi salaries. Okay, I am going to create a copy of that file salaries.csv as mysalaries.csv, lowercase, mysalaries.csv. Okay, actually you don't have to trim header, but I want you to practice it. There is an option you can give, vi mysalaries.csv, and what is the command? dd. You will delete the first line, and I have deleted it, and I have mysalaries.csv. Okay, please look this step, very, very important. Okay, please carefully see it. I am going to create a HDFS folder because the file need to be in the HDFS, correct? Hadoop fs minus mkdir. Let me create a folder called May28. Okay, I created a folder May28 and Hadoop fs minus put mysalaries.csv to May28, and I'm going to write it down. Where is my input file in HDFS? Which folder? May28, and May28 contains which file? So far very clear, because without putting into HDFS, you cannot. You can create a table, but leave it now. Now you study only one way. All right. What is the next step? Let's start Hive and create a table, right? And then I have to load the data. Remember the commands that we learned? Okay, so how will you do that? Start Hive. You can do Beeline also. Now it is your wish. I'm familiar with Hive. That's why I'm typing always Hive. All right. And then create table. Salaries. Suresh, your field. Year ID, integer,
Team ID.
Team ID,
Log ID.
LG ID or log ID, whatever it is, string, player ID, string, salary, float. Row format. Forgot. And then delimited, fields terminated by, comma, lines terminated by
N.
backslash n or backslash n. Stored as there is, okay, integer data type. int. There you go. It's not integer, it's Java. Int. You must be very familiar with the commands. So you created the table now. Now what we need to do? Load the data into. Are you following? These are the steps that we have done, right? Control L. Load data in path. May28 slash salaries dot my salaries or salaries
My salary.
my salaries dot csv overwrite into table show or select star. Select star from be crystal clear on doing this. Okay, now the magic. I'm going to come out of Hive. Okay, listen, this is what I wanted to teach you. Just to take it very clearly. Where was the file that I put initially? In which folder?
Hadoop.
May28, right? Let's go to that May28. Hadoop fs minus ls. What is the name of the folder? May28. So I should see which file. Okay.
It's moved 5.
Where is your file? In Hive, whenever you create a managed table, listen the word. What is meant by managed table? I am telling you, very important concept. Whatever files that you are creating, since you are requesting Hive to manage the table entirely, that file will be moved to user slash hive slash warehouse by default. By default. Can you configure? Can you admin configure that folder? Yes. But this is the default location of Hive data warehouse. Anything that you are doing the load data in path, right? It will be put it into this particular location with your table name. Understand? Again, listen. If this is your Oracle, this is your transaction data of the cards, every day the transactions are there. There is an ab initio or ETL job which is copying this data from here to another system DB2 or something which we call as data warehouse. It is a copy. This will also be remaining. But in our case, if this is your mysalaries.csv, this is your data warehouse, this will not exist, but it will be moved permanently. You know what is the reason? When you drop the table tomorrow, it will drop from this location and your entire data is lost. This is what is meant by managed table. Because I typed the command create table in the Hive prompt. If you remember the command that I typed, it is create table. It is by default a managed table. What does that mean? Hive will move the data into this one. Now there is another interesting word. Create, external table, let us say XYZ, and then assume that you are writing the load data in path. Then what will happen? It will create a copy of the data, and even if you delete the table, your data will not be affected. So which is the best way in your enterprise? External. Why? If you don't use that external table, what will happen if you drop the table? Everything is gone. Very, very important concept. I'm going to show you that. Internals, let's see. Okay. So where is that? This directory. Please never ever go to this directory. This is just for showing you this one. Because always remember, we create everything in home/Cloudera, correct? These are all internal directories used internally by Hive. Okay. I will show you. So many tables are there. So please look at this. Hadoop fs minus ls. I am going to put a slash. Root. Never do this. Look at that. There is a user. And did you see Solar, HBase, all these things? These are all internally used by the virtual machine. So let's go inside user. See? Hue, whatever you told, all are managed here. And you see user/Hive. And I am now going to that particular directory. How will I go there? /user/Hive. And what do you see? Please look. Warehouse. Spark programming, Scala programming, Python programming. Whenever you write, you'll have to set the default data warehouse of your Hive, and you have to remember this directory name. By default, this is the one. How will you know this is the default or admin changed or not? Hive site.xml, remember the configuration file? In that Hive site.xml where you configured the metastore on the first class I showed you, in that file you will write what is your warehouse directory. But normally the people won't touch it. Okay, now if you go inside user/warehouse, this is where you are going to see all the magic. How many? One is my schools and one is salaries. What are they? Your tables. And now if you go inside warehouse / let us say salaries. My salaries.csv. You understood the magic? So when I do that load data in path, what is happening? It is taking from there, from the HDFS, and moving permanently under this particular directory so that Hive can manage everything. Now, one more thing is, let us again go to Hive/warehouse. Okay. Look at that. Inside that user/Hive/warehouse, how many directories you have? Only two. What are they? Salaries and my schools. Okay. Now I am going to show you something. I am opening another command prompt, and I am going to start Hive. You didn't ask me this till now. Okay. Claudia's department wants a table called salaries. Sarita's department also wants a table called salaries. How can that two salaries exist? Not possible, right? So what you will do? Create database XYZ. And now I am going to write use XYZ. Now I change it to my database. Remember? MongoDB, MySQL, and then what you are going to do? Create table. Let us type that command. Create table salaries. Now remember that okay. Let's execute it. See, okay? Why okay? Because this is created in XYZ database. And now I am going to load the data again. Okay. So load data in path, overwrite into table salaries. Oh, salaries is not, you see, that file is not there. What I need to do? I need to copy it again, right? So I will go here. And where is my salaries? Yeah, here only. Hadoop, FS, my salaries dot see, see this one, right? I put it inside. Good. And now I am going to write it. Perfect. And now I am going to show you another fun. Clear? Now let us look inside user slash warehouse and please observe the change. What is that? So whenever you see a dot db, what does that mean? Now can you tell me what will be there inside xyz.db? Salaries. So one salaries table which is used by Claudia is here. One, as I told you, Seridas is there in the xyz. Understand? Now if you don't specify any database or anything, what is that database called? Default. That is the reason why when we are connecting from birth and all, I selected the database as default. Now if you want the report from XYZ table, what you should select? JDBC localhost 10,000 / XYZ. That is not new. Anywhere in Oracle or anywhere in the world, when you are connecting, you have to provide the database name. In Oracle, it is called SID. Not SID, that is schema.
Can we cross-reference across database?
Of course, XYZ dot salaries. So you want to do a join. XYZ dot salaries and my schools. Default dot my schools. Okay. For example, if suppose let's say I am on the Hive prompt, and if I want to access select star from default dot my schools. Select star from XYZ dot my schools. I should get error. Select XYZ dot salaries. Clear? Default database is default. You can create a database. You should use Beeline to connect remotely to other Hive instances. Always edge servers will be there through which you will be connecting to the actual implementation. Through PuTTY you will be logging into edge servers. Okay? Whenever you are creating a table, by default that table is a managed table, which means that a copy of the data, not copy, movement of the data will happen to user slash Hive slash warehouse, and whatever you are going to do on that particular table will be on that user slash Hive slash warehouse data. If you drop it, permanently your data is lost. Otherwise, you should create external tables.
So if you, okay, in this case you can't update data, right?
No,
Okay, it's just read only.
it is read only. Why you are telling update not possible? Hive is not a transactional system. Remember, then you are violating the principle. Have you ever updated your data warehouse?
No, I mean we get daily feeds and then sometimes we have to.
It is not update. Daily feeds are inserts. That's called snapshots. With the timestamp, you will be storing it. Then there will be a data mart which will be taking the ETL job and will do the aggregation. Right? Data warehouse is called source of truth.
Because if we are keeping it as external, we are always modifying. If we were to modify, then
You can't modify.
Can't modify.
Then it is violating the fundamental principle of data warehouse.
So what's the advantage of a managed table? It's just that if you want to.
Yeah, if I write a Spark program, I want a temporary table to be created, and then after that I want to delete it by another batch process, right? But for large data, you want to copy the data from Oracle, and then you want to copy, all will be external tables. Otherwise, gone.
And how do you
If Hive is, pardon?
how do you control access?
What?
So, like the salaries under my XYZ schema.
Ah.
I don't want Claudia.
Very good. There are beautiful tools available. Of course, those tools are coming up with the different clients. First, let me tell you what this guy is using, what the Cloudera is using. Okay, it's called Apache Sentry, and if you click on that Apache Sentry, you will see that Apache Sentry is the default tool with which LDAP will be integrated with your user, and Apache, Impala, HDFS, Hive, everything is managed by this particular tool. This is for Cloudera distributions. And what is the equivalent? Apache Ranger is the tool that is being used for exactly the same thing. Wherever Hortonworks redistribution is there, you can just go to the quick start guide and then you can see how all these things can be integrated with LDAP and all. So Ranger and Sentry, that will be part of your distribution. Your administrator will be integrating it with your LDAP. And you know very well that your LDAP is the ID that you use for all your emails and everything and all, right? Additionally, some companies like yours, what they will do, they will enable Kerberos as well. That is called Kerberos authentication. If Kerberos is enabled, only one small difference. Before you log into that edge server, after you log into that server, sorry, using putty, you will type knet. So it will ask you what is the password. Type your LDAP password. Done.
So what if you say only want 5 years worth of data and you
Okay.
want to automatically purge
Huh.
anything older,
Older from where?
the data warehouse?
You want to purge to Hive?
Or where, if it's keeping all that data?
Where is your data warehouse? Is it Hive?
Hive, yeah.
In Hive, why are you purging? Why Hive is for unlimited data, trillions of data, petabytes of data. What is the concept of Hive, this one? What I would do is I will compress the data into a format, ORC or something like that, and then I will keep on writing onto Hive every day. Let it grow. HDFS is meant for that, right? I won't archive. Hive is for archiving.
Yeah, okay.
So if your question is correct, this is what you should do. This DB2, let us say, or Oracle, let us say, is containing 40 terabytes and huge maintenance cost, whole huge license cost. I will move 36 TB here and I will keep, let's say, last 6 months of data here, making it as, let's say, 4 TB. Now I got a thin, lightweight Oracle which does not cost me much licenses, and I got 36 terabyte moved. How will you move? I will tell you later. We are going to study the tools. You can use Ab initio, you can use Scoop, you can use Flume, you can use Kafka, you can use Spark. So you'll move it. Once you move it, now your challenge is, hey, how will I create a report by joining this particular data? There Spark comes in, which will do the distribution of your data very fast and will give you the result. You never will archive Hive. Hive is for archive. So I'll stop here. I think